Element said the busy builder is now live, streaming miniatures. The busy builder said you.
Hello. There. Sorry, just moving my microphone. We're gonna start out with assembly because I'm still very foggy headed. And I just. Yeah. Hello. How goes it? Hey, Aris. What's everybody up to? No, I think the past week just wore me out. I have brain fog like you wouldn't believe. Like I was out before 11 o'clock last night. That's how tired I was. Today here is sunny and getting warmer. Nothing third gen there? Yeah, I've been keeping a side eye on that pickup truck. I wouldn't mind that here, to be honest. Just a cold, drizzly, British-style day. Then again, if that happened, I probably wouldn't be streaming. I would just be curled up in bed still. What? Why not? No, I just had a very long day at work that pushed pretty hard, so wore me out. My legs were feeling it. I wouldn't mind a little more foggy, rainy. Another reason we want to move to Washington. So yeah, we'll do the assembly on this guy. He came in the mail the other day. I just don't know if I should do... He's wearing the reversible winter uniform. I don't know if I should do the mouse gray or white outside, or the camouflage like it shows here. The camouflage is more interesting, and you very rarely see somebody do the gray or inside face. We'll see how well I can do the building, because camouflage can cover mistakes. Which junkyard was it? Was it today, or was it going back through? It wasn't the one on 17th Street, was it? I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to limit the people that are going in and just stripping shit for resale. I'm not saying you're doing that, but there's guys out there that are just going in, and if they don't have the car you're looking for, and so for the possibility of the part you're looking for, they're not going to let you in. If you just say, oh, I'm going in to browse, but you wind up coming out with, 20 different stereos from 20 different cars. Are you talking the one down by 3300 or the one down by the old drive-in? Yeah, you got some good rust going on the domes and the curves and the roof, like the fenders and stuff. But you might want to consider doing I don't know if you have any Mr. Surfacer or just thicker paint or even a little bit of model glue and baking soda. Because I know you said you didn't want to do any of the thinning the metal kind of rust. But just a little bit bubbling up on the fenders would go a long way. Like, even my car's a California car, and she's got some bubbles here and there. I really can't believe how tired I am today. Well, that, and honestly, it's hurting the yards when people go in and they fuck around and they smash taillights and things like that. That's money that yard can't make, I think they're really starting to crack down on that kind of crap. Craven doesn't do that, but I'm just saying that there's others that do. Back when I first got my car, I went and looked for taillights for it because one of them it wasn't broken, but it was falling apart, like it was decaying. And I would have had a complete set, but somebody put a hammer through the reverse light on one side. The other side was perfectly fine. And my car's getting harder and harder to find in junkyards. Weird. Because 3300 is usually but one of the better places. Hey, Steven. That is so strange. Yeah, I'd definitely leave a bitchin' Betty of a response to that. What were you going in looking for? Are you planning on 5-3 in your 89?
A Triage Travel said yeah, it was.
Maybe they've just been having some crap going on there, and they're like I said, they're trying to crack down on it. It would not surprise me.
A Triage Travel said looking into an LG4.
Refresh my memory. Pretend I'm an idiot.
A Triage Travel said the 6.0 liter.
Oh, okay. Believe it or not, that might be a bit much for a unibody 89. You'd have to definitely do some body wants to no you definitely have to do some frame strengthening.
A Triage Travel said a lot of them are getting dumped for Mr. Failure because guys would rather replace them than rebuild them.
Oh, I know. Just like when people ask me about the Humvee, it's like you always get those guys, "Oh, you want this in it, you want that in it." I'm like, "No, you want that in it. I want what I want. I have a very specific idea in mind." Damn.
A Triage Travel said I am looking into getting suffrage connectors too. A Triage Travel said agreed.
You mean subframe connectors? Yeah, I need to do that on mine. Have you got the foobar for where your it helps brace your front end member to prevent frame cracking from the steering gearbox? You'd have to basically unbolt your sway bar, bolt it in, then bolt the sway bar back on. But yesterday, I got home, fought the nap trap all afternoon. Because I knew between how tired I was and daylight savings time, I really just needed to get to bed at a decent time and not stay up too late or go to bed too early. I'm gonna have to fill that. Then I think all the weather changes here have just been driving me nuts. Next stream day will be Friday. Sorry about not being on Thursday. I wanted to be, but and I know it's not allergies because it just popped up in a day and went away. Woke up at like 4 in the morning, my sinuses just drained like I was getting a head cold. Sneezing all day, draining, aching all over, and then went away. Next day, gone. I just want to get my next phase going so I can actually start taking mine apart and making other things better. The first key was getting it mobile again and somewhat reliable, which it's been. Hey, Almanacs. This is the spare barrel container for the MG42. I just need that piece. Okay. We're getting to the figure here in a second. I'm not being... Actually, yeah, I am being purposely slow because I am exhausted today. I almost didn't stream, but I figured there would be some unhappy people if I didn't. And I'm reprinting Ripley. I got this rest of Newt printing right now. The large one I did was too unstable, kept falling and breaking itself, so I printed her in a smaller scale to match up with Hicks and Vasquez. Oh. Get comfy. Yeah, we really didn't have a winter this year. Florida had more winter than Utah did. I think they got more snow, too. Because it is. It's the same weapon frame. They just hid it behind some Kawasaki parts. I have files for Hicks, Vasquez, and Ripley and Newt that I'm printing right now. Nobody does a good Hudson yet. That's the one thing I like about these figures is you can really just run all the parts off the sprue and not have to worry about it. Everything only fits one way. And I still gotta attend to that exhaust leak on my car, but too tired today to do it. I have a feeling that just something's vibrated loose and just needs to be tightened back down. Well, maybe you could start one. I'm running almost straights from mufflers. No crosspipe, just shorty headers down to straight pipes, mufflers en route just by the rear end. The leak seems to be coming from somewhere up near the passenger compartment, though. It's barely perceptible. And it definitely sounds like it's on the left side, so it's either at the collector or one of the first unions. Close pegs. And no cross pipe on those either. Oh, it sits high enough off the ground, it's easy to get up in there. I just need a really, really good day where I'm feeling really good. But if you want to stop by, I don't know, my next day off is Friday, I don't know what my next one is after that, but I'll message you when I know if you want to jump up and look, because it doesn't look like anything's fallen off. It just feels like something's kind of vibrated loose. Just everything. Elbows, shoulders. We've had some major weather and pressure changes recently, so I'm just feeling like crap. Foggy brain, too. Caught that? Really? There. And there. That's all I wanted you guys to do. Clamp on and hold on. Hey, George.
said Freebuilder. A TI Kravitz said that sounds like a potential plan I might be able to swing through after work.
Don't worry about...
Almanac asks, gotta love getting older and more broken, eh?
Oh, that's why when we finally do move, we're trying to get it so I might not have to work. And I can actually let myself heal up a little bit. Or get it to the point where I'm not so physically abusing myself that it's impacting me in my time off because of work. My work isn't bad, but yesterday was a bit rough. That is a left foot.
At Almanac said yours.
What the what? Okay, it appeared, then it disappeared. Right foot. Just cleaning up all the parts while the body seam hardens up a little bit. Trying not to slice my thumb either. And once we get enough together, we'll put the base coat on this guy. And probably start working more on the other MG42 gunner.
At the model student 20 said I stopped working entirely about 6 months ago. I have noticed a great improvement in my physical condition. My body needed a break there, sure lol.
And that's what it is for me too. But it's one of those things where, like, I don't want to stop being active, but I want to be able to like meter out how active I am until I can get better, right? Like even going to the but even like going to the gym right now would be detrimental because everything's so screwed up that I would actually wind up hurting myself more if I tried, right? If I were to go back, I'd probably get back into swimming first. That way I could get active again, get all the muscles and joints moving with very low strain on them, and then go from there. I used to be a decent swimmer. I'm only 50. Minimum retirement age right now is, I think, 65. I mean, I could retire if I wanted to, but the retirement I'd be pulling would be worthless. It wouldn't cover how much I'm making right now. So, it's all just bullshit like that. You can retire at any age you want to. You just gotta deal with the consequences of said early retirement.
Had Almanacs asked if reduced hours an option?
At the moment, no. Even if it were, I wouldn't want it. Because right now I get paid time off. That's why I said we're working towards something where when I move, I will have more time, or more options will become available. Because if we can do it right, which, you know, every passing day makes me think it ain't gonna fucking happen, but if we can do it right, we won't have a house payment. And that's the real key. So has anybody watched that War Machine movie on Netflix? Trying to figure it out if it's worth giving a watch to. I heard it was kind of a newer take on the War of the Worlds idea. But it also seems like, you know, throw a known actor in it besides Dennis Quaid.
Said I don't have Netflix anymore.
You should be able to download it, ours. Knowing your potentials.
Had Almanacs said I watched it.
It just seems like one of those low budget filmed in the Canadian wilderness movies. At least from what little I saw. Before I go expelling 2 hours of my time, I'd like to know if it's worth watching. Alright, let's see here. And depending on how things go, Friday might be either more of these guys, or I'll switch it up to either a different kind of figure, or we'll get back onto a military vehicle of some sort.
Had Almanacs said it's got some OP effects, but it's basically the semi version of Battleship in a forest.
Yeah, I think they're relying on Alan Richardson, I think that's his name, or Richardson, I think they're relying on his popularity from Reacher to get the audience in. And it also feels like they're trying to line him up to be this generation's Arnold. I might give it a look-see this evening then. These seams are actually cleaning up pretty nice. We'll get all the bits and bobs on, figure out what we need to cover up with more work, and then go from there. Bread bag, MG toolkit. Part of me would like to get an airsoft MG42 and print off all the parts I need to make it the Aliens smart gun. It would look good with my pulse rifle. Okay, that's really going good now. I was gonna say, am I working okay in frame? Am I drifting out again? If I could find a good set of plans for it, sure, but I'm also a bit too fat for it. In the daytime, you wouldn't have seen much of a glow of anything. You only really see the cherry on a cigarette when someone's inhaling on it anyway. There we go. Still a bunch of these kinds of figures on eBay, real nice and cheaps. I may get more, I don't know. I think I'm reaching saturation point with these for the moment. Plus, it's really telling, and it's kind of sad, that out of all the figures, Dragon only makes 2 Americans, 1 Brit, 1 American's World War II, 1 American's modern. I don't even know if they do a Russian. If they do, it might be 1. And all of the rest are World War II era Germans.
But the model student 20 said a bit nicer working in styrene rather than resin.
I've got some resin figures I want to work on. Like I said, I'm printing out Ripley and Newt. I've got Nihilister printed out from Nikkei. I've started painting her. Got her sheer bodysuit painted in. I'm just allowing that to dry. The Tamiya liquid or the Tamiya clear paints have a little extra set time to them, so I'm trying to give them a moment to set up, and then I can put liquid mask over that and start painting the rest of her. I don't know, but I've been looking through some of their other Navy SEAL sets and their modern U.S. Marine sets, and there's a ton of figures in that with both pose and equipment that I feel would have been more interesting than, 1 or 2 Americans for every 40 German figures they make. I'm amazed that the Unterscharführer didn't get flagged because of a certain symbol poking out of his cap. Watch, now someone's going to go and flag it. Which is a pretty shit move if they do, because it's not like I draw attention to it. And it's not there for any kind of statement, it's just part of the uniform. It's probably more likely to get flagged for showing smoking than anything. But not yet, though. But I don't want to say their uniforms were cooler. They had a wider variety. And that's not to be said the U.S. uniforms didn't vary and differ either. But their differences were very subtle, where the German ones were very radical, even amongst the camouflage patterns.
How do you judge the detail level? If you can read what it says on the belt buckle of the German WW2 soldiers, the detail is okay.
Yeah, I'm not even going there. You don't need to be able to read it. The impression of detail is fine. And this is what I'm getting at. There's a difference between appreciating the history of something and totally embracing the ideology. Like, there's one RC tanker out there that I swear goes too far. I haven't ever seen him own anything, but I haven't seen him own anything American. Everything he does, he's wearing something World War II German related. Oh no. Some channels get flagged, some won't. Oh, gotta get that lined up. Whoopsie! There we go. Yeah, the system for that kind of stuff is very inconsistent, model student. I tried putting up a short of a gray Panzer IV with no other symbology whatsoever in the video aside from the typical markings at the time, and it got flagged for hate speech. And the hooked cross was never on the vehicle. It was just the national symbol, the regular cross. Oh, it's been around even before then. I'm aware of that. You know that. I know that. It's the context in which it's used that causes the trouble. It doesn't mean I still say people should just go plastering it everywhere, but I'm very understanding of its use in context. Like, if you build German aircraft, you kind of have to have it on the tail if you want to do it historically correct. Doesn't mean you always need to put it there, but it was on everything, in World War II aircraft-wise. German tanks, on the other hand, you can get away with not using it because typically, aside from like one or two instances, it was only on there as an air identification flag. It was never painted directly on the vehicle. Outside of, I think, one Tiger used in the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising as an identifier. But it was painted on after the fact. It wasn't a standardized marking. Okay, I don't need that bipod. Now we get to do this fun crap again. Fortunately, we don't need to make it fit to the gun. We just need to have it drape around his neck. Let's see if we can do a better job this time, huh? But I have to say, you know, I'll get it glued in place fully once it's done. I did a pretty good job of getting it close on there. Yeah, great. Fine, we'll do it in sections. A little bit of super glue along the area where the belt is. Some accelerator. Make sure there's nothing that's gonna fling it into my eye. Alright. In the... That'll have to work too. In the kit, it's not even a complete belt. It's only going to his shoulder, so I'm probably going to mimic that. More accelerator. Alright, so how are you hanging now? Here. Kind of back over that way. I can always add more. It was about to break anyway.
At Almanac said I feel the early stages of a migraine coming on. I'd better go eat a handful of pills and head for bed in a darkened room.
Fortunately, I haven't had a migraine in a while. Take it easy, Almanacs. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. We're going to take a move around break here as soon as I get this last bit glued on too. There we go. And then this is going to be under his arm, like So, trying to figure out exactly how they've got this. I think it's like that. And then there's going to be a sling going over this. That'll be one of the last things we add on. Okay. And his foot got a little turned up. There we go. Okay. Just making sure I got the foot and the toe at the right alignment. Okay. This apparently goes along here. Now, if I were a solid cylindrical object strapped to somebody's back, I would make a dent in that person's back, wouldn't I? Especially if it's a thick padded coat of some sort. For conditions, say, like the Ardennes of 1944. Now, I'm not saying cut all the way into the figure, but definitely give it more of an indentation right through here with a round file. Especially if that round file's about the same diameter as the tube. Yeah, because you've got the gas mask canister strap here and here. This and this are for that tube. That feels better. Doesn't look like it's just sitting on the surface of the coat. It looks like it's kind of tucked in a little bit. And then I'll be able to take little bits of tape and make it look like the straps extend out. Messing up his foot. leave the helmet off just like on the other guy. He is ready for painting after I go over and check him for gaps. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I get back, we'll probably throw some base coats onto this guy, and then move on to the other figure. Okay. So give me just a moment. If you guys have been sitting and watching, I suggest you get up and take a break too. It's been just over an hour, so be right back. Alright, we're back. Get the rest of the blue tack off the feet. Pull off his head. Same thing here. Get it out of his neck hole. I do need to finish something up soon, though, so I can get another short up. Or find something I haven't done a video on and do that. Let's get that off of there. It's just dried paint in the bottle sticking to the brush. That seems about the same tone as the ones I used to wear. But thanks again to everybody who is watching, and everybody here at the beginning. Lets me know that the alerts are probably working now. Helps if I turn the air on. There we go. Even if you stir it, it helps to shake it. I'm gonna have a snack too. Yeah, I'm wearing my hat today because I need a haircut. My hair is just all kinds of just Doc Brown all over the place. But I don't think you guys could see me driving a DeLorean. Ooh, got a little too heavy, too close, too fast there. Okay, I see it now. Trying to figure out how much of this is the load bearing. Because he's wearing a DCU uniform with some kind of bullet protection underneath that's in woodland, and then all the pouches and the straps are black. Then his holster here is black. This pouch is olive green. Aha. There we go. Thought I saw a little clump of latex fall in there that normally wouldn't be an issue if I'm brush painting. The only thing that really jumps out as fundamentally incorrect is the soles of the boots. They should be Panama, not Vietnam. Even though Panama was used in the Vietnam era, it's when it originated. By 1992-93, you didn't see that sole pattern in the tan or black upper boot. At least I've never seen it, and I'm looking for boots all the time. You can still find that pattern sole, but the only original setting that I've seen it in is with the olive green canvas upper. Never the tan, never the black. And if it's Rothko, it's not legit, because that's Chinese knockoff. You'll walk out of the soles on that. Like, literally, you'll step and the soles will fall off. I'm thinking when they did this figure, they just used the pattern they had for the jungle boots on the Vietnam seal to master these, and then modified it from there. Outside of the sole, the upper's pretty much indistinguishable. If he was kneeling or he had one foot up like he was walking or running, I would have actually resculpted the sole on this. Okay. That's pretty thorough coverage there. Just he won't stand up on his own. That's fine. That out of the way. Close you back up. That could have been bad. I keep doing that. I'm sorry. Just making sure I've got any of the remaining gummed up paint out. There was a minor issue with some chunkies. Still a minor issue, apparently. I might have to flush some lacquer thinner into it. It's getting there. I might have to get a fresh bowl of water too. This one's starting to be more paint than water. Okay, I think I see it. Yep. So anybody with a gravity-fed type airbrush, if you're having clogging troubles, it means you've got little stringers like this still hanging out in there. So what you want to do is you want to just draw your needle back like that, get it safely to the back, and you can probably get your stringers out just by doing this from the inside. You could also do a more thorough teardown, get the special little pipe cleaners in there too. But if you're just swapping colors, this is usually suitable enough. Because what's happening is that gummy stuff is taking up the difference in the nozzle and the needle and not allowing the paint to flow. There we go. But I'm going to pause again real quick, go upstairs, get some fresh water. And he should be dry enough in that time that we should be able to start working on the DCU camo. And then usually you want to work from the inside out. This time I want to work from the outside in. I know that sounds weird, but you'll see what I mean. Alright, so pause on this, and I will be back in just a moment. There we go. Hold on. There. Sorry about so many interruptions. And I must empty out my trash can today. Actually, give me 1 second again. There we go. Because they're saying the camo should be RLM2 mixed 50-50 with white. I want to mix that and see how it looks compared to the gray-green that was on the uniform when we had it downrange. Yeah, we can use that one. These are, after all, just approximations. Yeah, I always saw it as more green than they've got it here. Looks like it can vary from print to print, though. Just that it, again, you could say the same thing about BDUs. You would get some sets of BDUs, the brown would be really like a dark wood brown, and then you get another set where it's almost like caramel. But they're all made by the same manufacturer, it's just the batches are slightly different. Let me just add a drop of sky to it and see what that does. I just remember it having a hair bit more of a green hue. That seems more like it, just a little more green. Yeah. I know my camera's probably not picking up the difference at all, but trust me, it's there. And it'll be there when it dries too. That's the
The
thing.
model student 20 said Tamaya are great for 50 shades of beige or green. Grinning face
But
with
never
smile.
an exact color. Unless it's their NATO series colors. Those are pretty exacting, but they were also made in in connection with KMW when they were doing their 16th Leopard 2. Yeah. Didn't realize the gain was up that high. It was blowing the camera out that badly. I'm sorry. But I think you can see the gray-green color I achieved a bit better now. And it does look closer to what I remember. I don't have any of my old DCUs anymore. You could almost say the camouflage pattern, color ratios if you wanted to paint it yourself, almost 50-50 sand to this gray-green color. And then the gray-green had outlines of the red-brown on it, just thinner strips of it. And I say almost 50-50 because not exactly, but pretty close. And I remember the sand having a distinctly pinkish tone to it, too. Like, barely noticeable, but it felt pinkish. So yeah, a good mix would be 50-50 RLM2 gray and white with a little bit of Tamiya sky, just to green it up a bit more. Elbow reinforcement. Close enough. It needs more green. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that is definitely looking better. I feel that looks about right. Especially once it dries, because that's when the paint's sitting at its, you know, full color. All the pigments are laying down in it. So you're getting a better idea of the color depth. Bring this out there a bit more. What's funny is you need to actually spell out decals like that, so that way it won't say decals. Because it's way wrong. It can be. You can actually make the pattern recognizable at least. Uh-oh, we have a visitor. Hi, Allie. Hi, little princess. Hi, little princess. You want your box? Is that what you want? Can you even fit in that? Wide loaf? There she goes. You barely fit. You're bowing out the sides of it. Let's see here. She's not even showing up for you guys. There she is. There's our little tater. Our little tater tot. Hi. Okay. Okay, and I think they said like a deep wood brown for that.
Alice_studio said, death. Streamelement said, beware desk cat. They will conquer all with their mighty fluffy paws.
At least the new camera.
Bow down when they purr.
At least the new camera doesn't flip out with her fur pattern in the screen. The old camera would glitch out and start getting like digital interference lines. It was weird. Allie, you're interfering with the paint selection process. I must relocate your rotund posterior post-haste. Come on, over here. Good girl. Too brown. I need something redder. Almost like a leather brown, but not quite. Actually, mahogany brown might work. Flat Earth is too... Flat Earth is the right color. I'm just going to go with it. Contrast-wise, it looks right. For that, we'll want a smaller brush. Yeah, and it's just periodic, almost worms of the color in between the sand and the gray-green. Yeah. Okay. Be sure to kind of roll the brush as you do it to give it that uneven edge. Yeah, that's looking super duper. So I tried to do with paint what they didn't do in the plastic. There's actually supposed to be a round seam on the butt here. Because the elbows, knees, and butt all had reinforced panels stitched in. Just like an extra layer. Keep them from wearing out so quickly. from all the examples I can find, and from what I remember of my own, there was never just like brown on its own in the middle of the sand in terms of the color demarcation. It was always between the two patches of color. So like you wouldn't find just the brown going right in the middle here. It would always be where the gray-green meets the sand. Why does this part of the song sound like it would be good for Reze in the Chainsaw Man film? That's actually looking pretty tight now. Once I get the leg straps in and some of the other details plucked, it's going to start popping better. Yeah. Every now and again, the headphone jack goes a bit weird on me. Seems like I've got to lock the focus again. So, you know, we've been talking about the little shorts that Nathan Fillion's making. He's done Kaylee and he's done Jane. Trying to get the focus locked right here. Okay. That's within my workspace. Bring the light back up a hair. Okay. But today may be a bit shorter too. I'm just, like I said, still feeling foggy-headed. Whatever the hell hit me Thursday. Was it Thursday or was it Friday? It was Thursday. But I'm still feeling kind of run down from whatever the hell it was. So this underlayer to his vest here is supposed to be woodland. And then all the other gear on it's supposed to be black. Can't say I've ever seen a setup like that. But kind of like the early 2000s, the 90s were a weird period as well, where they were kind of doing a lot of odd equipment choices. Because we had the BDU system, we had the Alice system, the original chocolate chip somehow proved to be a failure. Either that or we were just borrowing another nation's pattern at the time, which I think is what it started out as. And then we made our own DCU system, and that's when we were messing around with the load-bearing system to make sure it worked better. Which is why you can have a couple different variations on your Alice setups. And on some of the equipment pouches. That was my thumb. I don't know if the microphone picked up that little snap. It's one thing I do like about Tamiya, if you're able to brush paint it. It takes a little getting used to and knowing the paint and how to mix the reducer into it. But it just goes on smooth and lays down thin. I believe that's the radio. Yeah. I think I am going to cut it a little short today, though.
At the model student 20 said, do you think Tamaya with just Windex?
Yep.
And
I just
IPA as well.
I just thin it with Windex. I can actually give you an example. I think I've got a bottle I haven't thinned yet. Let me see. Nope, that's an older bottle. Well, maybe. Let me see. Yeah, it's a much older bottle. Yeah, that's a new bottle. But you see where the paint level's at? It's settled too. But you want to fill it up just to where the neck of the bottle reduces. So, see if I can get it to shake up a little bit. Yeah. So take your bottle and fill it up right to where the bottom of the neck reduces, and that should be enough to make it brush paintable without it doing that weird skidding over that Tamiya likes to do.
At the model student 20 said, I think thin as well just out of the
I found the alcohol breaks the paint too much and it turns too chalky. Windex, it's less chalky and it retains more of the paint's elastic properties that it needs. Like I said, I'm just feeling out of it still. I'm going to call it quits today. We're just at 2 hours. We got one figure built. Another one started on painting. Friday we'll either come back to him or back to this guy. And I'll get a short up tonight showing the work in progress on the figure we just built. So I'll see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to take it